Assalamu alaikum students. I hope all of you will be fine at your homes. So in the previous lesson, we started with the process of respiration. We talked about glycolysis, we talked about the link reaction. So we said that in the process of respiration, in the process of glycolysis, like it's actually which starts with one glucose molecule, and there are a series of steps over there, and ultimately by the end of glycolysis, glucose is converted into two molecules of pyruvate. When we start with the glucose, like if we just I summarize it again, glycolysis, when we start with glucose, and I'm not going to draw the full flow chart of this, and glucose, this is a 6 carbon sugar, right? It is finally converted into two molecules of pyruvate, which is 3 carbon, right? And on its whole way, like the two molecules of ATP, 2 ATP used, and there were 4 ATP molecules produced, but net gain of ATP was, of course, if we minus this from this, its net gain of ATP is 2 molecules. So apart from two molecules of pyruvate, we get two molecules of ATP in the process of glycolysis. And then on the way, we know that the process of dehydrogenation occurs, as a result of which hydrogen is removed, and that hydrogen is accepted by the hydrogen carrier molecules. And obviously before accepting hydrogen, they are in the oxidized state. Once they accept hydrogen, they get reduced. So basically, the hydrogen carrier molecule which was involved here, that was NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Okay, we will talk about it later on. And we know that the two molecules of NAD, reduced NAD, are produced. Right? So this was all about, these were the products of glycolysis. Two molecules of pyruvate, two molecules of ATP, and two molecules of reduced NAD. Clear? As far as ATP molecules they are concerned, obviously once they are produced, they are used as energy currency molecule of the cell. Whenever cell is going to have the need for energy, these two molecules are going to be utilized there. As far as these molecules of reduced NAD, they are not passed to the next step of respiration. Rather, reduced NAD molecules, they are carried to the last stage of, like they are going to enter into the last stage of respiration, which is oxidative phosphorylation. So what actually enters into the next stage of respiration, which is the link reaction, they are actually two molecules of pyruvate, and each molecule of pyruvate at the same time is going to enter into a separate link reaction. So two link reaction are going to take place simultaneously at the same time. So once again, summarizing link reaction, that is, obviously we are going to discuss it with the reference of one pyruvate molecule, okay? But obviously same happens to the other pyruvate molecule. So pyruvate is there, which is 3 carbon, and basically in the link reaction, what is the ultimate product from the pyruvate? That is acetyl coenzyme A, right? And this is a 2 carbon molecule. And on the way, right from conversion to pyruvate to acetyl coenzyme A, we know that pyruvate, it gets dehydrogenated, it gets decarboxylated, and then it this is like and it combines with coenzyme A to form the acetyl coenzyme A. So what are the other products which are formed over here? There is obviously, when we are talking about one pyruvate molecule, it's one reduced NAD. So when we are talking about two pyruvate molecules, of course, it becomes two reduced NAD. Okay, so for two molecules of pyruvate, there are two reduced NAD molecules which we are getting, right? Obviously, in one link reaction, one pyruvate molecule gets decarboxylated, so one carbon dioxide molecule is produced. When we are talking about two molecules of pyruvates, of course, it's two molecules of carbon dioxide, but we are not going to consider it anymore because carbon dioxide is one of the waste products of this process. It's not going to be utilized anyway. Your body is going to get rid of this ultimately. And what is there exactly? The two reduce, there is no ATP production, right? No direct ATP production in this. Like we have seen earlier in the process of glycolysis, four ATP molecules were produced, but as two have been utilized, so we say the net gain of ATP molecules is two. But in case of link reaction, there is no ATP molecule produced at all. And what is there? And that is two molecules of, obviously, when we say from one pyruvate molecule, one molecule of acetyl coenzyme is formed. So when we are talking about two molecules of pyruvate, how many molecules of acetyl coenzyme are going to be produced? That is two molecules of acetyl coenzyme A. So basically, these are the two products of the main products of a link reaction, which are going to be which are going to be utilized in the later stages of respiration. Okay. Once again, acetyl coenzyme A is going to enter into the next step of respiration, that is the Krebs cycle. And same happens to reduced NAD, which happened in glycolysis as well. The two reduced NAD molecules which are produced, they are going to enter ultimately into the, they don't have any concern with the Krebs cycle. They are going to enter ultimately into the final stage of respiration, which is oxidative phosphorylation. Okay. And we also talked about this thing that at this stage in the link reaction, this is the stage where fatty acids, they can also enter into the process of respiration. And how is it possible? Obviously, fatty acids, they are produced from fat metabolism, right? And you see, fatty acids, we know that they have long chains of, they have long hydrocarbon chains. So fatty acids, they are broken down in the mitochondria in a series of reactions, in which basically it's a cyclic series. So in each turn of the cycle, that fatty acid chain, it gets shortened by a 2 carbon acetyl unit. It means at each turn of the cycle, 2 carbon acetyl unit is removed from the fatty acid chain. So this acetyl unit, it combines with the coenzyme A to produce acetyl coenzyme A, which is obviously which can enter into the Krebs cycle. But this time, this acetyl coenzyme A is going to produce from the breakdown of fatty acids, not from the pyruvate, which we have obtained from the glycolysis. Okay. So this was all about. So now we come to Krebs cycle. Okay, Krebs. First of all, we will see why is it called as Krebs cycle. Okay, basically there was a scientist whose name was Hans Krebs. He was the person who discovered this cycle in 1937. That's why it's named after the name of the scientist, Krebs cycle. Okay, but this cycle, on the other hand, it is also called as this is also called as citric acid cycle. Now, why is it called as citric acid cycle? Because one of the compound formed in this cycle is citrate or citric acid, right? So that's why this is also called as citric acid, citrate or citric acid. So that's why this is also called as citric acid cycle. This is also called as tricarboxylic acid cycle. Once again, what's the reason for that? Because citric acid is a tricarboxylic acid because it has got three carboxyl groups. So that's why, with reference to the citric acid being a tricarboxylic acid, this is also called as citric acid cycle. We will see in the actually in the syllabus of O level, obviously it's a cycle once again consisting of a number of steps, but you will see in all the steps the names of the molecules, they are not mentioned in the syllabus in the book, right? Because they are not in the syllabus, but otherwise each at each stage of the cycle, at each step of the cycle, there is a molecule with a proper name. For example, but why it is called as citric acid cycle? Why? Because there are other molecules which are also formed. There are also other compounds which are also formed at various stages. But citrate is one of the major ones. So that's why this cycle is also called as citric acid cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle. Citric acid cycle because citrate is produced in this cycle at one stage. And citrate or citric acid is a tricarboxylic acid cycle. So that's why this cycle is also named as tricarboxylic acid cycle. Now, obviously, as what do we mean by the word cycle? Cycle, whenever we talk about a cycle, it is a closed pathway. Means from where it starts, it ends up there as well, right? So that's why this is. It means कि जहाँ से ये शुरू हो रही है वहीं पे खत्म हो रही है, right? So that's why this is a cycle. Now we will see what happens actually inside this cycle. Okay, so you see, it's acetyl coenzyme A, which is a two carbon molecule, right? This acetyl coenzyme A is going to enter into the Krebs cycle. So what happens there actually when it enters? This acetyl coenzyme A actually, it combines with a four carbon compound, which is here, oxaloacetate. Now remember, oxaloacetate, basically it's a four carbon compound, right? So this acetyl coenzyme A, it combines with this four carbon compound, and as a result of that, it changes into a compound. Of course, four carbon here, two carbon here, so it changes into a six carbon compound, which is called as citrate. The very first product formed in the cycle, that is citrate, and this is a six carbon compound. Why is it six carbon compound? Because oxaloacetate is a four carbon compound which is combined with this acetyl coenzyme A, which is a two carbon molecule or a two carbon compound. Okay. Now a citrate is formed over there. Obviously once citrate is formed, this coenzyme A is we will talk about the coenzyme A later on, what happens with this coenzyme A. Okay, so you will see this citrate is converted into another intermediate compound, which is once again 6 carbons. Now at this stage you will see we don't have any name of the compound here mentioned in the cycle, so we will go on in the same way, right? After this 6 carbon compound, that gets decarboxylated. When we say it gets decarboxylated, it means carbon dioxide molecule is released here. So this is decarboxylation. And now you can imagine one carbon has gone. So ultimately it changes into a compound which is 5 carbon. Again, no name there. As I mentioned, it's not like that they don't have their names. Like fumarate is one of the compounds formed in the cycle. Succinate is also one of the compound formed in the cycles. In the same way, malate is also a compound formed in the cycle. But as they are not in the syllabus, so obviously we are not going to discuss their names and all that. You just have to remember with reference to the number of carbon atoms present in each compound. Okay. So basically citrate, you will see that citrate changes into another intermediate compound which remains one again 6 carbon. Now the 6 carbon compound, it gets decarboxylated, and as a result it changes into a compound which is 5 carbon. Now at this stage, when it's going to be converted into this a 5 carbon compound, there is dehydrogenation also. And when dehydrogenation takes place, hydrogen is removed. Once again a hydrogen carrier molecule is coming up there, getting that hydrogen. So NAD molecule, one NAD molecule gets reduced here, so it changes into reduced NAD, right? Okay. So this happens there. Now then this 5 carbon compound, it further gets decarboxylated. When we say decarboxylated again there is a removal of carbon dioxide, and resulting compound is 4 carbon, right? And once again here dehydrogenation takes place, and once again NAD gets reduced. I'm just going to write down its short form because of the shortage of space. I hope it's clear. If it is not, I can write it again. Reduced NAD. Okay, clear? So 5 carbon compound has changed into an intermediate compound which is a 4 carbon by removing its by the removal of one carbon dioxide molecule. Now what happens here? This 4 carbon, it changes into another intermediate compound which is once again 4 carbon. Okay, and at this stage there is production of one ATP molecule. See, so one ATP molecule is formed here, and obviously it is formed from ADP plus inorganic phosphate, right? So this is what happens here. Now this 4 carbon compound, it changes into another intermediate 4 carbon compound. Clear? And what's this? And over here once again dehydrogenation takes place, but here the hydrogen carrier is not NAD. There is another hydrogen carrier coming into the into the ground to play its role, and that is FAD. FAD stands for flavin adenine dinucleotide. We will discuss about these hydrogen carriers later on. So this FAD molecule, once it accepts the hydrogen, it gets reduced. So what is produced here? One molecule of reduced FAD. Clear? So we saw in glycolysis and link reaction, the hydrogen molecule which was involved there, that was only NAD. Okay, but in the Krebs cycle now we see that there is another hydrogen carrier molecule involved, and that is reduced, that is FAD. Okay, and FAD, just like NAD, when it accepts the hydrogen it becomes reduced, so it changes into reduced FAD. Okay, now this 4 carbon here is the shortage of space, once again an intermediate, and that is 4 carbon. Okay, and then ultimately this 1 2 3 4, this ultimately changes into oxaloacetate. So oxaloacetate is regenerated at the end of the cycle, and at this point once again one molecule of NAD gets reduced. So NAD, that changes into reduced NAD. So this is a Krebs cycle. Okay. Now, when acetyl coenzyme is going to combine with the oxaloacetate, this coenzyme A, it's regenerated. It's going to leave, right? So uh, now if we look at this, the whole process of Krebs cycle, what is the production there? If we look at it with reference to one acetyl coenzyme A molecule, then you can see over here that uh, of course there is no end product of this acetyl coenzyme A which is going to enter into the next stage of respiration. Like we saw in the process of glycolysis, end product was pyruvate which entered into the link reaction. From link reaction, acetyl coenzyme A entered into the Krebs cycle. But obviously it is a cyclic process. So from where it starts, it's going to end up over there. So no more product going to be entered into the next stage of oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, so basically oxaloacetate is regenerated at the end, which is again ready to combine with another acetyl coenzyme A molecule to form the citrate, and once again that cycle can begin. Okay, but if we look at the overall products of this Krebs cycle, we can see over here what is produced here. It's okay. Obviously, no end product over there, which is going to be entered into the new stage of respiration, the next stage of respiration. So what we are left behind, actually, what is produced there? Two molecules of carbon dioxide. But obviously, once again, we are not going to consider the carbon dioxide no more, because it is a waste product of this cycle. Once again, it's going to be removed from the body. So actually, what are the main products? If But once again I am emphasizing on this, for one molecule of acetyl coenzyme A, it's going to be how many reduced NAD molecules are produced? 1, 2, and 3. So 3 reduced NAD molecules, right? 1 reduced FAD molecule. And how many ATP molecules are going to be synthesized in this process? Only 1 ATP molecule, right? So this was for one acetyl coenzyme A. Obviously, we know that two pyruvate molecules were produced in the glycolysis, which at the same time entered into two separate link reactions, right? So obviously, at the end of the two link reactions, how many acetyl coenzyme A molecules were produced? There were two molecules of acetyl coenzyme A, and once again, just like link reaction, each acetyl coenzyme molecule entered into a separate Krebs cycle. So the other one also entered into another Krebs cycle at the same time. So if we talk about with reference to two acetyl coenzyme A molecule, then obviously we can say 4 molecules of carbon dioxide, they are produced. 4 molecules of carbon dioxide. How many molecules of reduced DNA? Of course, 6. And how many molecules of reduced FAD? That is 2. And how many molecules of ATP are produced? That is 2. So these are the products of Krebs cycle. Once again, ATP is going to be utilized by the cell, by the body for energy requirements, and reduced NAD and reduced FAD, both of them, they are passed to the next stage of respiration, which is oxidative phosphorylation. So basically, you can see over here what enters into the what are the molecules which are going to participate in the process of oxidative phosphorylation. They are only hydrogen carrier molecules which are coming to the oxidative phosphorylation in their reduced state, right? Because they have got the hydrogen. Once the process of dehydrogenation takes place, hydrogen is removed. That hydrogen is taken up by those hydrogen carrier molecules and they become reduced. So we have seen that from glycolysis, how many molecules of reduced NAD were there? It were two molecules of reduced NAD. How many molecules? So if we look at link reaction, how many molecules of reduced NAD? Once again, two molecules of reduced NAD, and over here it's six reduced NAD, right? So I will just review the Krebs cycle once again. You can see here acetyl coenzyme A, from the link reaction, it ultimately enters into the Krebs cycle, which is this third stage of respiration. This Krebs cycle also takes place in the matrix of mitochondria, just like link reaction. And if you remember, previously we studied that the products of glycolysis, which was pyruvate, they are actually, the process of glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm. So the pyruvate is actively transported from the cytoplasm of the cell through outer and inner mitochondrial membrane into the matrix of mitochondria, where both link reaction and Krebs cycle takes place. Okay, so acetyl coenzyme A combines with a 4-carbon compound, which is oxaloacetate, to form a 6-carbon compound, which is called as citrate, and because of this, this is also called as citric acid cycle. So and then obviously coenzyme A gets free and it's ready to combine once again with another acetyl unit to form the acetyl coenzyme A. Now on the you can see in the cycle there are different stages, and at each stage we have just written the number of carbon atoms present in that compound or molecule, because in the syllabus we don't have their names actually. So whenever the question even comes related to the Krebs cycle, they don't mention the name. So we are not going to discuss even that. But as I told you, there are various names like succinate, malate, fumarate, etc. And but once they have mentioned, because they have mentioned only the citrate, which is the first product of Krebs cycle. So citrate is it changes into another intermediate compound, which is once again 6-carbon, and then this 6-carbon compound, it gets decarboxylated and dehydrogenated, and it changes into a 5-carbon compound. Obviously, when we say decarboxylated, means carbon dioxide molecule is removed. When we say dehydrogenation, so hydrogen is removed and once again accepted by a hydrogen carrier, which is NAD over here, so it gets reduced. This 5-carbon compound is once again decarboxylated with removal of one more carbon dioxide, so it changes into a 4-carbon compound. On the at this stage, once again, one reduced NAD molecule is produced because of the dehydrogenation which has taken place here. Then this 4-carbon compound is it is converted into another intermediate 4-carbon compound. No more decarboxylation over here now till oxaloacetate, because the number of carbon, it remains 4. So what happens here? One ATP molecule is synthesized here, and obviously it's going to be synthesized from ADP and inorganic phosphate. Then this 4-carbon compound once again going to be converted into another 4-carbon compound. At this stage, dehydrogenation takes place, but now the case is different because the hydrogen carrier molecule is different. Now instead of NAD, FAD is present here. So once again, it's going to be get reduced. Then 4-carbon compound changes into another intermediate 4-carbon compound, and then finally this 4-carbon compound changes into oxaloacetate, which is once again a 4-carbon compound. And at this stage, once again dehydrogenation takes place, so one more NAD gets reduced here. So if we look at the products of 2-acetyl coenzyme A entering into the two separate Krebs cycle, we can see that what are the ultimate end products? 6 reduced NAD, 3 are produced in one cycle, and as there were two cycles, so we double it. So 6 reduced NAD, same is the case with 1 reduced FAD per one cycle. So there were two cycles, so 2 reduced FAD. Same here, 1 molecule of ATP per cycle, per two cycles, 2 ATP molecules. And as far as 4 molecules of carbon dioxide is there, 2 carbon dioxide have been removed in one cycle. So obviously if we double it in another cycle, so it's going to be 4 molecules, but they are of no use for us. So now if we see what enters into oxidative phosphorylation, that is okay, from all the three previous stages of respiration, what enters into oxidative phosphorylation? Uh, from glycolysis, how many reduced NAD are there? There were two reduced NAD molecules, right? In link reaction, how many? There were two once again, okay? And as far as if we look at this Krebs cycle, Krebs cycle, there are 6 reduced NAD and there are 2 reduced FAD. So what enters into the oxidative phosphorylation? How many reduced NAD and how many reduced FAD? There are 2 reduced FAD molecules which are going to enter into oxidative phosphorylation from Krebs cycle, while from glycolysis, link reaction and Krebs cycle, collectively how many molecules of reduced NAD are going to enter into the oxidative phosphorylation? That is 6 into 2, 8, 8 into 10, 10. So 10 molecules of reduced NAD plus this 2 molecules of reduced FAD. They are all going to enter into the oxidative phosphorylation. Now, as far as the process of oxidative phosphorylation is concerned, we will be discussing it in the next lesson because that has to go in one, that has to be read in one go. Okay. So I will wind up the lesson over here. I hope the things are clear. No worksheet is given with this because most of the time the questions which are related to this, these different stages, all the stages are, they are questioned in the same question. So that's why I'm not giving any worksheet with this. However, with the next lesson, when we are going to talk about the oxidative phosphorylation, then we are going to talk about then we are going to give the worksheet. Okay, so have a nice day and take care of yourself. Take good care of yourself. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.